Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to Monks in the Morning from Colombo Dhamma Friends of Mahame Unawa. I'm so glad that you're joining us so we can spend time together now as Kalyana Mitta, good spiritual friends. Do you remember that word, Kalyana Mitta? It means a special kind of friend who likes to help us practice the Supreme Buddha's teachings. And that's what we're going to do together today, practice the Supreme Buddha's teachings. It's hard to find people in the world to help us practice the Dhamma, so we can be happy knowing that we've found this rare opportunity. It's so important to have friends like all of you, so we can encourage each other to be the best people that we can be. Have you ever had to make a difficult decision? Maybe there was a time you had to decide not to tell a lie, even though you might get in trouble. Or maybe you had to decide to help someone else, even though it might mean that you lose something for yourself. Well, today we'll learn about a young man who had to make a difficult decision. He had the chance to do something really, really good, but he might risk losing his job. Sometimes it's hard to follow the Buddha's teachings. But in this show, we'll get to learn the secret to making good decisions. We'll also chant the Kanda Parita, so get your chanting book ready if you have it, or click on the show notes link to follow online. Now let's go for refuge and take the 5 precepts.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Sanghang saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saranang gacchāmi. Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Say after me, I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs. with the refuge of the noble triple gem. I observe these precepts for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, to escape from the sufferings of samsara. May it help me. May it be a blessing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya. Dear children, these sermons are conducted especially for y'all, aiming the children's problems. Children, when you are listening to this Dhamma sermon, pay attention. These sermons are done for y'all out of compassion to make y'all feel better when y'all are living in this human world, for y'all to live happy from your young age, from your small age, from your prime age, until one day you leave this world. We like to see y'all living happily. We like to see y'all doing good deeds to the greatest extent possible. Each and every time, whenever you get a chance, whenever you have to perform a good action, we want you all to perform those actions without regret. For an example, if you had to share something with someone, you should be able to give that without any regret. Because when we start receiving things, getting gifts from our parents, relatives, there is no limitation of accepting. Children, do you all have a limitation of accepting gifts that you get from your parents and from your relatives? No. If we get more, if we get a lot, we will be more happy. Don't we have such a nature, children? We have. Some children are waiting for their next birthday to collect toys and gifts. Very rarely we find children who have collected their money for like 3-4 years and made donations from that money. I remember I met one child. Now, when I met her in one of our monasteries. That child came to offer dana to Mahasangha with their parents and with their relatives. So this girl has collected money for 4 years to buy a complete Attapirikara, a complete gift for a monk with 8 things. A ball, an underrobe, a double robe, a single robe. Then there is a thread. Then there is a needle. Then there is a strainer, a belt. That girl has collected money for almost 4 years, from grade 5 to grade 9. Now, even if she recalls this at the age of 8 years, she will be so happy thinking that I have done good deeds in my young age. Now children, even though you all are small, yet you all might be hearing about this coronavirus. Now, in some countries, in most of the countries, old people died. But then recently, in some countries, even small children started dying. Now all these children, the small ones, Have they practiced dana? Who knows? So, when we start practicing from our young age, that will help us in life. Today, I decided to teach you a nice story who offered flowers to a Buddha, to our Gautama Buddha, without regretting, giving up desire for his life, giving up desire to live in this world, giving up the desire to live with the family, giving up hopes of living with the family. He offered something to the Buddha. What's this story? This story is about a florist. This florist, one day he was taking flowers to the king, to King Bimbisara. So when he was taking flowers to King Bimbisara, he saw the Buddha visiting Rajagaha, the city of Rajagaha, with the monks. So when this man saw the Buddha, he saw the radiance that was emitted by the Buddha's body. By seeing the radiance that was emitted by the Buddha, he was shocked, he was amazed. And he recognized the Buddha as an extraordinary person. And then he thought, what I have in my hands does not belong to me. But then, let the king do any punishment to me. The merit will come behind me throughout the sansara. Even in the upcoming births, the good karma by offering flowers will help me. But the punishment will be only for this life. He thought, I am offering these beautiful flowers to the Buddha, and he went to the Buddha and slowly he threw the flowers to the air. Children, amazing, surprising. The flowers went to the air and then made in a way like a curtain, like a canopy on top of the Buddha, and like a curtain at the back and either side of the Buddha. Now these flowers transformed into a curtain and like a canopy on the top. And when the Buddha is moving while Buddha is decorated around with these fragrant jasmine flowers. Now after seeing this man got so amazed and surprised, and joyfully he said, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Now that saying of Sadhu came from his bottom of the heart. Then children, this man who offered flowers to the Buddha went back home, and then that day he did not have money. Why? He did not give it to the king. That's why he did not have money. Then the wife asked, why you came with empty hands today? Then he reported, he said what he did today. But the wife was not happy. Now what will happen to us? What will happen to children? These children will not have a father anymore. The king will kill you, will punish you. He will imprison you. This man was not worrying. He was joyfully spending his life, spending his time thinking of the good act he did by giving up the desire to live in this human world. Then children, this wife ran to the king and said with the children, Dear Lord, please forgive us. This man, my husband, he is supposed to bring flowers to you. Rather than bringing flowers to you, he has offered to the Buddha. Then King Bimbisara said, something that should be done by me, that man has done, amazing. I also rejoice in his merit. And this king was so happy with his meritorious deed, and then advised that woman to become a disciple of the Buddha. And then she was sent back home. So then King Bimbisara thought, that man who offered the flowers, he has done a great karma, a great action. I should help him. And then King Bimbisara made that man a village headman. And then he was rewarded with 8 elephants, 8 horses, 8 male slaves, 8 female slaves, 8 maidens, and 8,000 and 80,000 gold coins in cash. Now, when he offered flowers, did he ever think that he will become a village headman and get these things? No. See how fortunate beings are. Just a thought. What helped him to become a headman? What helped him to get all this happiness? Just a thought, children. A thought of giving. A thought of giving. A thought of making a merit. A thought of thinking about upcoming births. A thought of thinking about next life. That thought helped him to become a great person. The amazing part is not this, children. Then after the Buddha went back to the monastery, Venerable Ananda asked the Buddha, Blessed One, what benefits would that man, his name is Sumana, what benefit would that man gain one day? Then the Buddha said, Dear Ananda, that Sumana, the florist, he will never be born among the bad destinations until he become a Pacceka Buddha. Pacceka Buddhas realizes the Dhamma without the guidance of anyone, but they don't preach like Buddhas. They don't ordain monks. So, until he becomes a Pacceka Buddha, he won't be born among animals, won't be born among demons, not among the hell, not among the ghosts. What a protection, children. What a protection. So, therefore, children, we should try to practice generosity as much as possible and overcome greediness. So to overcome greediness, we should think about our this life and next life both. The next quality that we should have is, we should not have a desire just to have happiness for just a small period in this life. Just having something for yourself will lead you for some happiness, but very limited, children. Once that object breaks, that happiness fades away. But after offering something, the happiness that you get will not fade away after 2-3 years. Will not sometime even fade away after millions of years. It will not fade away until you attain Nibbana sometimes. That good karma will finish only after you attain Nibbana. Don't you like to get that assurance? So get that assurance today, children. So we bless you wholeheartedly. The secret of this sermon is overcoming desire for life and practicing good karma. So let's chant the Dhammapada stanza. The Buddha preached this stanza to Venerable Ananda. Say after me. Tancha kammang katang sadhu yang katva nanuttappati yassa patito sumano vipakang patisevati. Tancha kammang katang sadhu yang katva nanuttappati yassa patito sumano vipakang patisevati. A deed is good when one does not regret having done it. A deed is good if the result is to be experienced with joy and delight. That's what was experienced by the Sumana the florist. So may you also have the opportunity, children, to experience that happiness and become noble disciples of the Buddha. Realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
Paritta chanting. Kanda Paritta. loving kindness towards the royal tribes of snakes. Turn to page 29 in your chanting book. Now we're going to chant the verses from the Khanda Parita. The sutta that comes before these verses tells the story of a monk who passed away after he was bitten by a snake. When the monks explained this to the Supreme Buddha, he told them that this monk had not been practicing metta towards the 4 royal tribes of snakes. Then the Buddha taught those monks these verses so they would have an idea how to practice that way, so they could be protected as well. This is a good set of verses for us to chant every day if we can. Now we'll recite them in Pali and English.
To
It was great to spend time with you again today. We hope you learned something new, and we really hope that you can use what you learned as you go about the rest of your day. Do you like to draw pictures? I think this story would make a nice picture, wouldn't it? With the flowers all around the Supreme Buddha like a curtain. You could use that picture to help tell this story to your friends and relatives. That way you can share the Dhamma too. Now let's share merits. Today, in this short time, we've done many wholesome actions by body, speech, and mind. We've gone for refuge to the Supreme Buddha, the Supreme Dhamma, the Supreme Sangha. We've taken the 5 precepts. We've listened to this story about the florist Sumana. And we've chanted the Khanda Parita. So, now let's share merits. May all of our parents, our teachers, our relatives, our friends, may they all rejoice in this merit. May they have happy minds thinking about these wholesome actions, and may they soon experience the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.